Hi Libra, the Awakened Dreamer here to give you a tarot reading for your next 48 hours. Thank you so much for joining me. Do keep in mind this is general, so just take what resonates. But as well, I do want to thank you in advance for likes, comments, and of course subscriptions to the channel if you haven't done so already. Obviously join this Libran tribe if you haven't done so. But right off the bat, I'm going to say I'm getting the message that birds will be a part of the next 48 hours for you, as you can hear them very clearly in the background. But as well, I do feel like there's a need for positivity and peace. This keeps coming through in your readings, I feel the need to say. But also do understand that this is meant to pertain to, remember, this is meant to pertain to the following 48-hour period for you individually, starting around when you're guided or drawn to this video, not just following when I post it, okay? So it's timeless in that sense. I'm already hearing now you're a star. You're a star. We're going to begin by pulling from the Pure Magic Oracle deck, and then we're going to use, which one was it? The Mermaid Tarot for the rest of the reading. Okay. Okay, Organizing Queen is just what I heard. Okay, male or female. So you must be tapping into your feminine side. For my lovely Librans for the next 48 hours. A lot to accomplish. A lot to accomplish. Packed schedule. Okay, watch the Taurus reading. Okay, now I'm hearing Spirit is with you. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. Yeah. So what do we have for Libra? The messages are rolling in. That's keywording for Libra. Okay. Earth Mother at the bottom of the deck. Psychic Recharge, Ground Healer, and Mentor Layers. I do feel like you're working with your hands. And again, another bird. But I'm feeling that you need to go through a psychic recharge. You could be psychic or have predictive nature, about you within the next 48 hours. Feeling like as well, and even in the beginning, I got the message you need to catch your breath. Needing to ground oneself because you could potentially be a healer guided to this video. Feeling like a mentor in the next 48 hours. Some of you in general with what you do for work and just your general interactions. But even if you don't normally, there's a vibe about you that just feels like you're put in the shoes of a mentor. Layers of a situation are being unraveled for you to see more clearly. Wow. Let's see what we got here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, counting. You're going to be doing some counting in the next 48 hours. I feel like for some that's entailing money, but, or videos. So opening circle, protection, ritual, lesson, simplicity. I do feel like, again, your hands coming into play, your third eye opening to a certain extent. You could be speaking about certain psychic occurrences or thinking about in general. But I do feel like with the levitation card, you're thinking about levitating towards something new. Interesting. Your beliefs coming into play, mastering something quite nicely, okay? Don't be surprised when that happens. But I do feel like you're pushed to meditate. Why is it that you feel inclined to meditate at times along your path so strongly, and then at other times you feel as if it's hard to get back into the rhythm or get oneself into that habit once again? Or even just feel as if it's like your stubborn nature comes into play and you feel as if you don't need it, or you feel like you do and just find it's hard to implement. I get it, okay? I'm a Leo, Libra if you're new to the channel, but I do feel like you're dealing with outside factors that are quite disturbing, like background noises, stuff of that nature. You can probably hear that outside. But I also feel like with this telekinesis card, you, a very Ace of Swords vibe coming through with that imagery. You are an influence, okay? Other outside influences coming into play, spiritual, in your waking life, other energies. It just feels like your willpower is needed at this time in order to maintain a level of control moving forward. There's going to be a highlight on your level of control that you actually do have within a situation, and they're pushing me to think about a specific one for me. but it's going to differ from case to case. There are obstacles that you've had to overcome recently and will have to in the next 48 hours, but you can do it. They're pushing me to add this up and this one, the number 7 and separately, and the number 3. Okay, the spiritual and the angelic meaning for you separately coming into play. 33 as well. So number 333. So the last card talking about burning man, collective power, supreme prayer, 3 of cups, and celebration. I feel like you're pushed to recognize in the midst of a lot of abrupt behavior, energy, difficulties, a lot to accomplish, balancing out multiple opportunities for some. You are thinking about endings, new beginnings, getting ready for a new chapter. There's a lot to celebrate, okay? There is a lot to celebrate. It may not feel like it at all times, but when you balance oneself out and ground yourself, it's easier to remember that or to realize it in general, okay? They're now making me think about the Ace of Swords again. There is a feisty situation or multiple being put to rest so you can become one with the peace that you need at this time. There may be feisty aspects or parts of that new situation or chapter, but it just feels like things are spiraling upwards for you, even if it doesn't feel like it 24/7. Okay, the spiral of your mind needs to stop is now what I'm getting for Libra. The Chariot and the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, you're going through a balancing act, okay, and you're reminded you're protected in the midst of this balancing act. You may even find that you feel inclined to protect others in the midst of what you're getting accomplished. Oh, I just feel like I am so exhausted in your energy. With the Chariot, it's just this motivation that needs to stay alive. You need to recognize that you'll get to where you need to go, okay? You will do what you need to do, but I do feel you need to pull this one as well. You're a powerhouse is now what I'm getting. You're an individual that is tapping into that leader side of you, who's leading oneself first and foremost, but then leading others in a secondary way. Not to say you don't care about those who you're meant to inspire, to lead, to help in one way, shape, or form, to protect, but you just need to worry about oneself as well. It's like that vibe where you can't not protect oneself or fill one's cup up and expect to still be able to fill other people's cups or protect their cups. Does that make sense? That was a struggle to get out, but that was the message that you needed to hear, okay? You're going to feel like a bit of a perfectionist in the next 48 hours. Let that go in one particular situation. There's no perfection to be accomplished, okay? And even if you do, it'll get destroyed quite quickly. Other energies are quite sloppy or just, yeah. It feels like, okay, different deck. It feels like you're reminded once again you're a star and you're just, do you see the hugging? It's like a bit of self-care needs to take place in the next 48 hours, even if there isn't a lot of time to do so. But I'm also getting the imagery as a bit of self-protection once again. You're fated to succeed. You're fated to make a change. Don't stress, Libra. Don't stress. It's not worth it. All right. Someone who has done you wrong will get their bit of karma in a negative sense, and you're bound to get your justice. It's what you represent. Okay. We have the 5 of Cups, and you expect the worst. Okay. In the midst of this balancing act, it feels like a lot of it, which is playing into it. Okay. It's going to differ from case to case. Your spirituality could play into it. It could be your people's actions in the past. I do feel like you're reminded in the midst of doubting what's meant to take place, or even doubting the future of a situation, that you are a star, okay? But your third eye will open as to why, more so in the next 48 hours, why you're expecting the worst, okay? As I just left a handprint on the table, they're saying your handprint will come into play. Your handprint. You're leaving a huge impression on people. You have no idea. I feel like some of which drawn to this reading have healing energy, and you're helping people immensely. So do remember that when you are meant to tread carefully with the topics you bring up, the venting that takes place with certain people, okay? The responses you give forth, not to second guess too much or in general, but to just tread carefully, okay? Your power at this time in multiple situations, including connections, is quite important, okay? I'm hearing the future of others. We have the Page of Cups, all right? And I do feel like you are feeling like you need an emotional fresh start, okay? And it's touching based upon this telekinesis Ace of Swords card, because you feel the need to have more control, and there's a lack of control in a situation where there isn't meant to be a full control, because you would want to stay where you are too much, or you wouldn't remember why it's not meant for you in the long run, okay? This is meant to be. This isn't meant to be, period, okay? You're gonna feel like a fish out of water at a certain point or multiple points in the next 48 hours. And we need to make you feel this way so you will feel the motivation to charge forth, okay? In a very calm, relaxed, peaceful, trustworthy kind of way, all right? Any obstacles you need to overcome, you will do so with ease due to your experience in the past. Something that failed, or even that you succeeded and then failed at in the past, prepared you for this. And you could see how I hit the camera in the midst of all of those messages, and they're saying we got to shake things up for you, okay? We're not allowing you to stay stagnant, to settle for what's not meant for you in the long run. You'll thank us. The Five of Swords coming up because there is some stress. I feel like you're dealing with stressful energies, anxious energies, abrupt noises, people who overcomplicate. Again, remember where you're at is not permanent. I do feel like it all ties into you striving to reach for your independence. Some people view you as creepy. Let it go, let it flow. I feel like it has to do with your spirituality, or what's being said. Word of mouth isn't always 100% true. Remember that in the next 48 hours, okay? Let's pull a couple more before we pull some charms. Yeah, have patience, Libra, have patience. You're so much better than certain people you're dealing with in the next 48 hours. And just expect and remember that everything's gonna fall into place as it's meant to. And everything's going to be played out as it's meant to, okay? For the better of you and the worse of others at times, and even the better of those who you care about. I feel like you're manifesting very powerfully at this time, and you're meant to move towards what you feel emotionally guided towards or tied to in one way, shape, or form. But I do feel the need to say, you're not weighing one's manifestation process down with your emotions. It just feels like there's a hint of which to remind you of what is meant to be, okay? And even to remind you of how far you've come. But I do feel like endings are in sight, okay? At the very least, one beginning and one ending that needs to come to be beforehand. But you're feeling a bit depleted. But I do feel like the rants are quite present within your situation. Let's pull one more for the middle. Yeah, a big leap of faith takes a true focus in the next 48 hours. But you're pushed to recognize how bold your presence is as you move with the waters towards what you deserve. As I catch my breath, let's pull some charms for Libra. We got a key. I'm gonna put this right in the center. That's tied into your leap of faith, my friend. I also get this vibe that you're just kind of not giving two shits, excuse my language, about certain people or what's going on. And they're saying that's good to an extent. Just channel it to your benefit, because I feel like if you gave too much of, if you cared too much, it would get the best of you. Wow, yeah, luck is on your side when it comes to what you're reaching for, okay? So who cares about how people are viewing you? And we also have a big flower. You're blossoming in the midst of needing to have patience through all of the BS or all the difficulties. But I do feel like music is playing into your next 48 hours, and there's a need to recognize that that's going to help you be one with the celebration, the positives at hand, okay? There's something to realize when you listen to some upbeat music. And we also have a snake. Yeah, there's a snake in your midst, and there's a reason why you're expecting the worst when it comes to them, okay? They're saying they're a cobra. Trust your instincts, my friend. You're on point. A kid, okay? You're also thinking back to potentially some stressful times when you were a child. You'd also be thinking about, okay, in the midst of certain levels of stress, you'll be pushed to think about a child, whether that's someone you're related to or could it be unrelated. who is just given birth to, or is at a young age, that will cheer you up, okay? To remind you of your purpose in this lifetime, or a part of which. Wow. Just wow. And let's pull this one. You were meant to recognize how royal you truly are, to remember that in the next 48 hours. As I feel like the key to your success is tied into your emotions somehow, okay? Your fulfillment and your connection to the moon will leave you feeling more motivated, even if you don't look up at the moon. I feel the need to say, bear with me as I struggle. And one last one, yeah, your spiritual connection is going to be quite relevant in regards to connected to your leap of faith, okay, and your balancing act, your decision making in the next 48 hours, all right? I do feel like you have a lot going on, but it's going to lead you to a lot of success. Don't be afraid to move as slow as you feel naturally inclined to, even if other people feel rushed or feeling inclined to move quickly. A lot is falling into place for you, Libra. It's going to be a busy next 48 hours for you, but successful to say the least, all right? So I hope this reading was truly helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go have yourself an amazing next 48 hours, and I will see you next time. Bye, Libra.